Alright guys, this video is analyzing an equation y equals mx plus b, and this video is due on Thursday. So the equation of a line that represents a non-proportional relationship can be written in what we're going to call slope intercept form. All right, and that's this equation that we see in this box right here. That is called slope intercept form. So we have two parts of this equation. We have the m, which you guys already learned about last week. That is the slope. And the only slightly new part that we're adding this week is the b. And you guys know what that is. That is the y-intercept. Okay? So when we are writing these equations, we need to find two things. We need to find the y-intercept, and then we need to find the slope. Right? And then we'll put the equation together. So, what is the y-intercept? Example 1. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my y-axis. And I'm going to go ahead and circle my y-intercept. And on your paper, this should say the number 5. So that means the y-intercept is 0, 5, which really means the y-intercept is 5. Okay? The slope. Let's remember how to find slope. When we find slope, we need to set up a little table and we need to pick 2 points. So I'm going to stick with our y-intercept since we already found that coordinate. And I'm going to pick this coordinate also. So that coordinate is going to be 4, 3. Remember, our x value goes first, then our y. All right, so how do we figure out slope? Let's recap. Change in y over the change in x. So what I need to do first is subtract these two. So I have 5 minus 3. That gives me 2. That's my change in y, or my numerator. And then I have 0 take away 4. That gives me negative 4. That is my denominator. When I divide those two things, I'm going to get negative 0.5, or I might leave that as 1/2. Okay? So now what do? We take our equation, y equals mx plus b, and I'm just going to replace these two pieces. I'm going to replace my m with my slope. So let's do that first. So I'm going to leave the x, and I'm going to leave the y. I'm just changing out the number for slope. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the y-intercept. So I'm going to write plus 5. Okay? And that's pretty much it. That's my equation. So let's try another example. Farah wants to rent a tent for an outdoor celebration. The cost of the tent is $500 per hour plus $100 setup fee. All right, so my y-intercept is always what happens initially, or at the start. So that means before I even bought anything, before the hours start ticking, what is my initial cost? So no matter what, my initial cost is the setup fee. And you'll see a lot of times y-intercept is going to be associated with the word fee or setup, startup. So my y-intercept in this case is $100. My slope is what reoccurs. Okay, it's reoccurring. And that means it happens over and over and over again. So if I look at $500 per hour, that means for 1 hour it costs me $500. For 2 hours, it's going to be another $500. All right, so that is my slope, $500 per hour. And that's usually associated with words like per or each. So when I write my equation, y equals mx plus b. I'm just going to replace my b, and then I'm going to replace my m, and everything else I'm going to write exactly the same. So y equals, I'm going to put an x here and a plus here, and I'm just going to go back and find what is my y-intercept and what is my slope. So my slope was 500, so that's going to go where the m was. And my b is my y-intercept, and that is 100, so that's going to go where my b is. And that's my equation. All right. So, essential questions. What is the equation of a line for non-proportional relationship? I want you to answer this on your own. Remember that the answer is at the top of this page that we did in the beginning of the lesson. So check up here to help you answer that question on the bottom. All right, see you tomorrow.